How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah.
Everything is good.
We met years ago.
I remember.
Yeah. I came here about a year ago. It's very nice.
Comfortable?
It's comfortable.
Yep.
Yeah, you have your privacy.
Yeah, that's good.
And everybody's compatible. My father was an architect. And my mother had a women's shop. Underwear, stockings,
Is that right?
stuff like that.
Wow. So you're entrepreneurial type people. An architect in a way, unless he worked for a firm.
No, he worked for himself.
Say that. And so then what did you do? Did you become a...
No, I worked in the fashion industry.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Well, I was a sketcher, and I would be sent to the fashion shows and you had to leave your purse with a pen or a pencil behind you. And when I went back to the office where I worked, I was supposed to sketch the dresses that I had seen. And I had a good memory at that time. Not so good today, but I could remember
So you
a
would...
lot of the dresses that were shown, a lot of the outfits. And
And then what? Then you would sketch them.
I would sketch them and go back to the office.
Yeah.
Or I'd go back to the office and sketch them. You weren't allowed to take a pen or pencil into the show.
Oh,
You were
I
not
see.
allowed to copy them.
I see.
But I had a good memory
Why wouldn't they want you to copy them?
because these were designer clothes that were brought back from Paris.
I see.
And if you could remember, good for you. And if you couldn't, you weren't sent again, I guess.
Oh, I see. So that's why they kept sending you, because you had a good memory. Then you would draw these, and then would they make the pattern? Or...
Yes, they would make the pattern, not I.
I
didn't
understand.
know how to do that.
Wow, that must have been an exciting job.
It was fun.
Wow.
It was fun.
And where was this? In New York City?
In New York, yes, in New York City.
What years was this
I
happening?
made $10 a week. Can
Was
you
that good then?
imagine?
Was that...
Oh,
that
we
was...
were lucky to have a job.
Oh, what years was this in?
Well, that must have been in the early 40s.
The early 40s.
And
Oh, gosh.
that was during the war, I guess.
Right, that's right.
And people were not allowed to go to Paris at that time. So they would send the models over with the clothes, and there would be a showing. And as I said, no pencils or pads allowed. And but I was young, I had a good memory, and what I couldn't remember I'd make up, and that was good.
So there you were in New York. How old were you then? In the early 40s?
I was 22.
And single, I take it, or were you married then?
No, I was single.
Mm-hmm.
I got married when I was 24.
How did you meet your husband?
Well, his parents and mine were friends, and they used to play cards together. And I would hear his mother always bragging about her son. And the most fun I had was in making fun of her. And
Because of the
not
bragging.
in front of her.
Right.
Because this wonderful son. And I said to my mother, I can just imagine what he's like. He's probably a jerk. Well, I married him.
Do you remember when you first met him?
Yes,
What was he? Was he what she said he was like?
absolutely.
What was it that was so wonderful about him? What would she say about him?
Oh, well, he was her only child. Anything he did was just, like this is a miracle child. And I would make such fun of her. And my mother and father would laugh. They thought it was very funny. But I'll tell you something. The first night I met him, I fell for him.
What did he do? What was it about him that you loved so
I
liked?
don't know. It was just...
Was he handsome?
Oh, he was handsome. There's his picture.
Oh, there he is, yes.
He was an attorney, and he was interested in politics. So I decided that I would go out and
Did he court you? Was he smitten with you from the moment he met you?
he says he was.
So it was a love at first sight, pretty much for the two of you?
So, you know, they say there's no such thing, but there is.
There is.
It
You
might
know.
not be love,
Right.
but it's an attraction.
Yeah, you've got to be attracted to the person
Yeah.
right away.
Yes.
So, how long before you dated and the time you got married? How long of a time was that?
3 years. He was a young attorney, and
Yeah.
he was in no position to get married, and it took that length of time.
Right. And then you said he was interested in politics. Did he go further with politics?
Yes. Yeah.
What did he do? What did he end up doing?
He represented our town in Hartford on many things. He was successful. People liked him. He's been gone for 14 years.
14 years.
Yeah. I was living in Florida, and I had good friends.
Was he there too, in Florida?
Yes.
I see.
Yeah. And I had good friends there. And then Leslie urged me to come here. She said, you know, it's so inconvenient for us. If anything happens to you, and I'd say, what's going to happen to me? You know, I was always the optimist. And so she said, well, you know, it would be much easier for us. So do it for us. So I came here. My husband and I had been here, many years before that, and we loved it. And in fact, we brought Leslie here when she was 15.
Oh, I see.
And she said, someday I'm going to own a house here. And my husband said to her, well, if you're going to write that book you're always talking about, maybe you'll be able to afford it. Because everything was always expensive here.
It was.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
No matter how good things were elsewhere, it was always more expensive here. So she did what she said she was going to do, and she's here.
She certainly is.
And she's happy here.
Did you live here? I mean, were you a summer resident, or would you
No.
just visit?
No, my husband had come here with a friend of his on a fishing trip. He was not a fisherman. So, of course, he was the one who caught the big fish, which didn't mean anything to him. And he said that they were in some boarding house. And he said he went into the bathroom and he was shaving, and a woman says, you think this is a private bathroom, don't you? Then this woman was in the bathtub.
Oh, no way!
She was not embarrassed. He was slightly embarrassed, I guess. He was no innocent little kid, you know. But he gathered his things up and he walked out. He said, maybe I'll see you sometime somewhere.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
He probably never forgot that lady.
I'm sure he didn't.
So did he decide to, and then what happened? You did...
And then when he came home, he had loved Nantucket. And he said, listen, I want you to pack a bag. We're going to go to the greatest place we've ever been. And we had been places. We had been to Cuba. That was the only place out of the country that we had ever been. And we had traveled. So we came back here, and we stayed in some little boarding house. I forget where. Must have been like $2 a night. And we enjoyed it. It's very nice here. You have your privacy when you want it. And otherwise, you can leave your door open if you feel like having the door open for anybody to walk in. It's nice. The food's pretty good.
Great.
Yeah.
And I'm sure once in a while you get to eat over at Leslie's.
Oh, yeah.
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 So you can move around.
And we go out for lunch a lot.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
That's fun. Do you go out with the folks here for
No,
lunch?
no, with
Oh,
Leslie.
with Leslie, of course.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thanks a lot.
Well, thank you.